Did you know that in Angola, a child was reportedly born from a human and a chimpanzee? This is one of those stories that makes you stop and say, wait, what? And at the same time, but what if it's true? Today, we're traveling to the heart of Africa, to Angola, where a story has gone viral across social media, leaving people speechless. A woman allegedly gave birth to a child whose father was a chimpanzee. Yes, you heard that right. It sounds impossible, almost absurd. But the details are so strange that the internet couldn't stop talking. According to the viral posts, a woman named Anita Dembo claimed that her son, Augusto, now about 12 years old, was born as a result of an intimate relationship with a chimpanzee she worked with while employed at a national park. Reports spread fast, and soon, the bizarre claim reached every corner of the internet. One blog even stated that the president of Angola called the boy a miracle, a sign from God. Another headline described him as the first human-chimpanzee hybrid living among people. Sensational? Absolutely. But is any of it true? Let's separate the facts from fiction. First, biologically speaking, the idea of a human-chimpanzee hybrid, also called a humanzee, has never been proven. Scientists agree that while chimpanzees are our closest genetic relatives, the gap is still too large for natural reproduction to be possible. There have been myths, laboratory experiments, and conspiracy theories about hybrid babies, but not a single verified case. The original story appears to have spread from a mix of online tabloids and low-credibility blogs, like MyNewsBite and Nevsodoma, both repeating the same dramatic details, but providing no DNA evidence, no photos, and no official medical confirmation. In other words, it's a mystery built entirely on rumors. Still, the story caught fire because it touches something deeper: the fascination humans have with crossing forbidden boundaries, the horror, the curiosity, the moral question. What if it actually happened? Let's imagine the scene. A small town in Angola. A woman working as a wildlife inspector in the Camaya National Park. She spends years around animals, including chimpanzees, intelligent, emotional, social creatures. One day, rumors begin to spread. Something strange happened. Then, a child is born who, according to locals, looks different. Within days, social media explodes. Human-chimp baby found in Africa. The woman becomes both infamous and isolated. The child becomes the subject of mockery, memes, and tabloid headlines. And yet, no one investigates properly. No scientist steps forward. No DNA tests. No credible medical statement. So what are we left with? A story, a legend, a mix of superstition, gossip, and viral media culture. A reflection of how easily people believe something shocking, especially when it sounds taboo. Biologists say it's almost impossible for a hybrid to exist. Humans have 46 chromosomes, chimpanzees 48. That's a genetic wall, not a gap you can bridge. Even artificial insemination between such species wouldn't work. Their DNA simply can't align properly. But in countries where education and access to science are limited, myths often take the place of truth. In parts of Africa, any unusual-looking child can be labeled not fully human. And sometimes, as horrifying as it sounds, people make up myths to explain what they don't understand. So maybe this story isn't about science at all. Maybe it's about fear, belief, and the way legends are born. Imagine walking through the crowded streets of Luanda, vendors shouting, music playing, newspapers with the headline, "Child of a Chimpanzee." People whisper, point, laugh, and somewhere, a 12-year-old boy named Augusto reads those words about himself. Whether the story is true or not, the damage is real. Because once the internet decides someone is a freak or a miracle, that label sticks forever. So, what's the lesson here? First, always check your sources. If a story doesn't come with DNA evidence, scientific statements, or reputable media coverage, treat it as a modern myth. Second, stories like this spread because they feed our curiosity about what's forbidden, what's unnatural, what's beyond our understanding. And third, behind every rumor, there's a human being, someone who suffers when the world turns them into a headline. So, did a woman in Angola really give birth to a human-chimpanzee hybrid? Probably not. But the story shows something real: how fast myths spread, how easily we believe, and how cruel viral fame can be. Whether you see it as fake news, folklore, or a social experiment, it's a reminder. Not everything unbelievable is true. But sometimes, the reaction to a lie says more about humanity than the truth ever could. Thanks for watching. And tell me in the comments, do you think this is a hoax, a cover-up, or something the world isn't ready to accept yet?